Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Kitchen Meta stream. It's been a while, um, and I'm happy to see that there's some lat hype already in the chat. um, so today is a very lat focused stream. I know there's been a lot of lat on my channel, but yeah, I find brewing this very interesting right now, and it's even more exciting after a ban list drops to uh, try to see if there's any changes you can make. And basically, the story of today begins with Worlds, or what me and Sokka played at Worlds. I ended up playing an Anicam list, and it started out as something that William had brewed, and it was playing Transfers of Wealth. Last minute discussions resulted in us going to 3 Fermenter and a Mamie instead. Um, and this did reasonably well at Worlds. But yeah, as I was playing it, there's a bunch of things that popped up as things that kind of annoyed me playing the deck, or things that I would like to smooth out. So um, there's there's uh, uh, there are cards in Netrunner that you include kind of because you have to. Uh, and well, there might be some disagreement here, but I feel like a card like that is Stone Ship Chart Room. Like, it's not the most efficient card, but it's a very versatile card. It's never dead. It has multiple utilities, especially in this list. Like, it can save you from dying. Worst case, it just draws you cards. But in this list, it also has the added benefit of charging your cataloger. So, like, definitely not a bad card, but it's also not the best card. Like, if you just look at a ritual, the raw value that you get from ritual compared to a chart room is just higher. Rigging up is the same. Like, if you get a rigging up off, it has way better value than a chart room. So you have the chart rooms that are kind of there because you have to have them. Um, I would argue to some degree is Simul Chip is like, it's a nice utility card, but in this list it's not. Like, if you could get away with fewer, you probably would. Um, there were cards like Palangi that are slightly clunky. There were some issues with, like, especially against fast lists, where you have a card like Echelon that is really bad before you have a lot of breakers. And uh, so there was like a few issues in the list. You had to be at 2 Coalescence, which isn't ideal. So some of the real quality cards, like Coalescence, that synergize with a lot of the stuff you're doing, like playing the DZMZs, the spec quirks, Ritual that has synergy with your Anicam, the rigging up that has synergy with Cataloger and Coalescence, and just the cards like Anicam and all the breakers that cost 3 or more. It has synergy with. These are cards you would like to play more of, but a lot of the cards that you're sort of forced to include is making the overall quality of your deck lower, because you're having to include cards just to beat certain matchups. Then we had a ban list, right? We had the ban of False Lead and Matryoshka. Um, Not only do I feel like this makes Lat look better because Lat was never relying on Matryoshka to begin with, but also when False Lead is gone, it means the stone ships are less important. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say that, well, nowadays you have to worry about measured response in Obelists, and that's totally true. I guess my hope with this very greedy list that I'm about to show, I guess let's just pull it up right away. Um, this is the list that we'll be playing today. So as you can see, it has a full set of rituals, an extra rigging up, an extra cataloger, no chart rooms, and the Mamie is gone because I was finding it really hard to make use of, like, the money on it. It was overcharging too much. There's a revolver here, and I want to shout out Ice Cream College for that change. We'll get to that. But basically, this is a way leaner list, or sorry, a smoother list, I guess I should say. So there's coalescence, 3 coalescence as well. So essentially, on average, your draw will just be better in this list, but you're lacking some of those answers that you had before for the kill. So the hope for stuff like measured response is A, that you'll know when to get to threat 4 or not. And so, like, if you're not ready for the game to be at threat 4, you try to avoid it. Um, it's also not super threatening before a basalt is scored. And also, I mean, the ob needs to have a certain amount of money. Then there is also the fact that, yes, your fermenters can get purged with Mavers if you're playing as ob, but you have ways of making a lot of money. So you have ways of making a lot of money. So the idea is, well, you'll just be able to get enough cash to survive the measured responses. I don't know how true this is in practice, but that's sort of the theory. And it's to let us try out playing like the leanest version of this, because I think a goal in Netrunner when deck building is that you try to make the version of your list that is the greediest possible that you can get away with. Like, if you can get away with not including tech cards, then you should not include tech cards. Like, like if your matchups into the decks that you're planning on teching against are already okay, then why are we teching? Why not just have a more well-rounded deck that can beat a wider variety of decks? And that's what I'm going for here. And then you might find out in practice that, okay, it doesn't actually work the way I intended it to, but that's still I think that's still a good principle. And then you adjust when you find out that, okay, maybe, like, for example, I need an Azimuth to beat Epiphany, so the Azimuth is still in here. Just as an example, Hannah is still in there, and maybe we don't need her, but she feels very good. um, so those were the overall thoughts, and I had a chat with Ice Cream College, who I see is in the chat. Yeah, shout out to Ice Cream College. So he he um, he called me up um, before the circuit breaker, and we had a discussion about Lat, and actually that made me feel even better about what I had been brewing with Lat. And we were definitely going different ways with it. One of the things that he was convinced about, I hope it's fine to share all of this, is that a revolver is very important for the ob matchup. Um, and I can definitely see that. Again, the echelon is really bad if you're forced to break with it early. It's going to cost you a bunch of money, um, and so I can really see that being better, like being a good thing to have. The unity can also be bad early, but it's not as bad as the echelon. So yeah, okay. That's good to see. I'm gonna spill all the tea. Thank you. So the revolver, that made a lot of sense to me. The point about the revolver is like, yeah, echelon is your worst breaker to have to use early, so let's try to shore that up. Unity isn't great early either, but it's not as bad, so maybe it's okay to have that one bad breaker. In worst case, you can try to find a space for a Euler. um, but there's some things here that I guess I'm trying to avoid personally. Like, one thing he was still doing is playing the Palangi as a way to have a breaking solution um, early on. So that's another way that you can avoid using an inefficient breaker early. Like, combining Palangi with a propeller to get in somewhere is often fine. Whereas I'm like, yeah, but then, like, okay, what if they just double ice and or whatever, or a fly swatter gets rest or something. I don't personally find that reliable enough. There were some cases where Palangi feels really good, but it could also be a clunky card. So I was personally trying to get rid of it. Um, and I was trying to play fewer simul chips, so I'm still only on 2 in my version. Another thing for me is I felt fermenters were really, really important for beating Glacier decks. So I'm still on 3 in my list, whereas Chris was favoring like a less vulnerable to Mavers list, which I think is because of like his respect for the ob decks. And I feel like I can definitely see that. I don't think I've had enough practice against the ob decks, but yeah, because for me, I feel like they're necessary for the Glacier matchup, so I feel they kind of need to be in there because I still have some respect for those decks. That maybe is misguided, but that's the idea anyway. Um, Yeah. So yeah, so there's a different take here. There's still the chart rooms. So what you get in my list is, I feel like, the most smooth version you can get. Of course, a change from uh, that Chris made from the first version is removing the direct access, because you need some way to get the influence for Revolver. We both agreed the Mamie was clunky, and then if you remove the direct access, you have the 3 influence. Um, the direct access seemed like it really, really improves your Leo matchup, where without it, it's probably a slightly bad matchup for you, or maybe a very bad matchup. I'm not sure about that. Like maybe the 3 fermenters help, and smoothing out the list overall helps. So the hope is that the Leo matchup will be okay, even though you go for the Revolver, because your list is even more efficient than it was, and you still have the 3 fermenters in that matchup. So, uh, and direct access was yet another tech card that only really serves you versus Epiphany, which is also like already a really good matchup for you, I think, because you have easy access to Azimuth. And the yeah, and against Leo, yes, it was good, but Leo is not all of the meta, and maybe only a small part of the meta right now. So it's good to try this out and see if you can still win against Leo, as long as you have good matchups against the other decks, I suppose. Um, I think, yeah, and the considerations for matchups is like, okay, some of the popular corps that we still see, I think we still see Leo, so you probably should consider it. I believe I saw that at the CBI. A Yuko, um, and there were even AUCOs with Reaper function now. I think the stone ships, um, like, I think they help against AUCO, but I'm not convinced that you need them against AUCO anymore. When there's like, maybe with Reaper function you still want them, but I feel like with Azimuth, like, we can sort of clean up a lot of their board, and yeah, we have Hannah as well. So like, if we can keep their board under check, we're not really worried about that Reaper function burst damage, and we can perhaps just survive with, like, it's probably enough to have the lat draw capability and the Anicam there. So yeah, again, trying to be greedy, but like not adding stuff unnecessarily is the idea. So we think we're okay in a Yuko. We hope we're okay against Leah because we have the fermenters. Hope against Ob is like, okay, we have the right breakers. We have a lot of burst econ. Okay, the fermenters are vulnerable, but the rest of the package is maybe okay. So this is kind of the logic. And what else are we teching for? There's another list I'm probably not thinking about. There's Ob, Ayuko, Epiphany, Leo. I think those are probably the main ones. I guess RH too. It's another Glacier deck where Fermenter plays a role. There's probably some Nebula brews people can play. Overall, this should be improved against Nebula, I think, because we have, just a smoother deck overall. So that is the logic. It has felt pretty good when I tested it. Runner can definitely feel now that like the order that you draw things really matters. So sometimes your deck feels amazing and sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, that's talking about that, and also like just general deck building principles. And I'm happy about this because it's following the general guidelines that I'm used to. And if I can get away with it, then I'm very happy about it. Oh shit, it looks like I need to plug this headset in so it doesn't die on me. Let's see. Okay. So, let's jump into some games. But first, let's see. So Chris says, for what it's worth, one fermenter is okay if you're okay with SMCing it with a DZMZ installed. I think you often are against Glacier, and maybe that's an argument. Although I'm not sure, like, one is enough. Maybe it is. That's a good question though. So maybe you can get away with it. Maybe you can tell me how you felt about the clean getaways. Because I can see that being a nice way to build it. It's just, yeah, the fermenters have a very high and nice ceiling that I like. But like getting even more events in here doesn't hurt when you're playing Anicam. Um, it's just that, I mean, the reliability of getting a fermenter down will go down substantially if you're playing um, just one, right? Even if you can SMC for it. Like, there's also cases where you might need the SMC for other stuff. So there's pros and cons. But yeah, I wanna play a few games and discuss. So let's see. So I have to write that I'm streaming. Oh, and it's been forever with the stream. I've kind of been wanting to do a stream for a while. I was going to do a Swift Sable stream, which might just turn into a Reg Sable stream because I was... let's see here, streaming. Because I was going to play in the Circuit Breaker, and I was just investigating Runner for quite some time. We allow spectators. Yes, very good. Yeah, so I was playing Runner for quite some time because after the ban list, I really wanted to figure out what runners I like, and I felt that pretty prepared. Like I was pretty excited to play this lat list for the CBI. Then there was a combination of like having a very bad day in my week when I was supposed to hand the deck lists in. I was supposed to decide on a corp. I hadn't thought enough about corp, and I didn't just want to file one in. And at that week, I was really feeling bad because of personal stuff that was going on. So I just ended up like not submitting my lists, and then even if I changed my mind, it was too late. So unfortunately, I didn't really get to put in practice what I had been trying out beforehand. Like I feel like I got a lot of practice with Sable and got pretty good with her, and that's actually really fun, and that's something I might like to stream later, now that I put the time in to feel like comfortable with it. That's something, those games feel very fun because you there's a lot of piloting decisions. I feel like pushing at the right time, being aggressive versus setting up, and all that stuff. Yeah, I quite like the Sable games, but there are also a lot of those games where you just like feel like you never really had a good chance to interact, and that's kind of annoying. But yeah, it's still a fun deck to play. But yeah, so there was that deck that I maybe want to do a stream on in the future. And today I just like spontaneously was like, yeah, this lat, I want to talk about it. I've been wanting to talk about it, so let's do it today when I have time. Because I find, when the meta goes on for a while, and now of course it's been changing, it becomes exciting trying to find the truth of the meta. I think Echelon and Pinhole is bad, but the rest I like, so I think I'm still keeping this. And immediately up against Ob, so maybe we'll see how we do in that matchup. I played this just a little bit with the previous list, and against Davs, and that went like okay, but the wins weren't super convincing. So I'm not actually sure how I feel about this. Okay, so we have this. Let me just see that I'm positioned in a good way. Maybe I should be like here. Right. So we kind of want to try to get this lat draw. If we want to be super aggressive, then we like pinhole this thing. That might actually not be that bad because this really feels like a humanoid or an anthill. Is that too aggressive? If I play Ritual, we don't get the lat draw. So I figure I draw first. So sure gamble. I don't want to install the Echelon right away. So I feel almost forced to to pinhole here. It might be premature, but I'm feeling this is a good thing to contest. Okay, Rego is like, it's nice to trash. It's kind of expensive to have to play a pinel for it, but preventing that is decent. Chris says, I also found that in some matchups you want a simple run plus 3 creds, but I won't lie, spending 2 in for dirty laundry sucks. Yeah. Clean again was mostly a way to hit 19 of edge, which I think is the minimum amount you want for Anicam. Yeah, fair enough. Like in my version, it's also 19, but I end up playing draw, install. Okay, so we need to hit 5. I end up playing more rituals and rigging ups. So we can go to 6, draw, then play 2 and get lat draw. Okay, now there's potential for... Yeah, I guess like the spec works aren't really getting played this turn. We could DZMZ and... just play this and the SMC. Potentially pop for something, like a coalescence. Getting a fermenter isn't as attractive in this matchup. If we had an overclock, we might be like really aggressive here. Except we drew the unity. So popping this for a coalescence, it just nets us a credit. So compared to spec working it, we're getting 1 more credit. Just spec working the SMC, we're getting 1 more credit. We're thinning out the deck, but at the same time, we might want the coalescences in the bin so we can simulchip for them. Let's just do the other spec work, so I kind of like it. Oh, but now this... Yeah, this is looking a lot like Scrubs now. For that matchup, Anicam seems really nice. I still think I need to get a spec work off here. Coalescence. We start. There's like no money, so this isn't super threatening yet. Anicam spec work gives us 3 cards. We go to 7. We have to play 2. I think that's fine. The probably propeller simulchip for the coalescence. I don't think there's a reason to take the money yet. There's no measured response right now. I'm trying to be disciplined about clicking the coalescence. There are matchups where it's good to have the counter still on it. So if you run somewhere, holy shit, that's a lot of assets. So if you run somewhere, then let's say you hit an Afshar, you go to 0 by breaking, then you can still get money from the coalescence after without losing any money. That's just one example. So now I think I have to go for this. Really want an SMC here. I mean, Azimat is nice too, but it's hard to make use of this turn without just like discarding everything. Yeah, so like I don't super love this. I think I can like contest one of these perhaps. Hannah would be great. Okay, we got rid of that. We can get a fermenter down. There's the excavator. Okay. I guess, yeah, I'm hoping. One other thing that Ritual does is you become a little less reliant on the lat draw. Like in cases where they go really low on cards, you can be like, well, screw you. I'm not going to go that low on cards. I'm just going to play a Ritual, get back up on cards, and it's fine. Yeah, this is one of those cases where it's like it would be really uncomfortable to go down that low. But playing Ritual here, we need to play 3 cards. We kind of want to get rid of this. If we get an SMC, that's great. We don't. Another benefit with the rigging up is like the Ritual and the rigging up work really well together, because then when you sorry, let me do the turn first. Go and trash this. Maybe trash this. Yep. And if we're rigging up now, we don't have to discard. And I think that's better than getting another fermenter down, because there's Mavers here. Antil, good pinhole target. So the combo to score a Basalt is, let's see, Bass is 3 to res, Slash and Burn is 2, then you need to advance 3 times. So you advance 3 times, you get a click. It's actually only $7 to score a Basalt. That's crazy. Okay. Yeah, forcing rest isn't too bad. Although scoring a Basalt here means they go down to $1, so I don't think I'm actually that afraid. I think what I do is can pinhole, go to 5, draw, play 2 cards, and we go to 4 and potentially get the lat draw. There's a potential for a spin pop, but I guess not. Ooh, actually with Hannah, we can try to force the spin pop. It's only 1 credit, yeah. Then draw. And rather than create more reliance on this, I'm thinking I'll just install a Unity here. I want the fermenter to be at 4 before I pop. It gives a window for Ob to get it. If it's the original Scarps list, there's only 1 Mavers in it. So then I think I can pretty safely contest. An Echelon at 3 strength is 8 to break a Stavka. That's a good number to remember. Because that's what might start happening now that we're gonna be running some servers probably. I actually can't remember if Fly Swatter is played in this, but I feel like that's a reasonable assumption. One thing though is that we probably need to pop this anyway. So let's say I pop, I play Echelon, we're at 3 clicks, we're at $10. We should be able to break anything. Okay. This. And we can run 3 things. If ob goes low, right, do we make this trash itself? We need to go through it, that's for sure. We can save a buck by letting it trash itself. And then they get to fetch. Is there something else that we're trying to play around that triggers ob? I guess I feel like I want it to trash itself. Like Winchester on HQ is what you get on R&D. Okay. Now I'm starting to feel very good because at $8, like ob is not threatening to do anything. So if we run this, yeah, we want to run that. I guess Stavka becomes like way worse in this way. Oh, actually, this I forgot about. That's my bad. Oh, that's a big deal. Okay, that's a little frustrating. We don't have a way to break. So we draw and try to get the lat draw. Yeah. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. It's a bit frustrating because if this is excavator, that would be really bad, but it looks like it's not. And then we can clean that up with Hannah. I realize now though, so we're on 2 simul chip. We used one of the propellers, which means I kind of really need the other simul chip now so that I can get the pressure spike. That's a little bit of an issue. Yeah, because now she's really exploiting the lack of good barrier breakers. One thing though, I mean, we did get the basalt, and that's huge. Plus, HQs should be starting to flood like crazy right now. And we've already seen 2 Maskerovkas. So I kind of want to play the gamble first to see what we draw with Anicam. Overclock. Then we could run this normally. We could also click this down, play the cup, and then run it. I guess technically we don't have spec work target anymore in that case. That's a bit sad. Yeah, let's do the Hannah run first. I might be doing things a little bit out of order. Wage. Okay. Oh yeah, there's a propeller, of course. So yeah, we can go cup. And run. And yeah, forcing this rest now is good. We're not going to be breaking anything. We're just going to try to get the lat draw, I think. If you go for mentor, like trashing the propeller is not something we want. We want it for the echelon strength. In case there's Stavka. Yeah. Excavator, okay. That's fine. Breaking up. Yeah, we need we need a propeller. Spin Doctor. Yeah, Bass plus Wage Workers plus Slash and Burn Agriculture plus 3 advance, $7. Yeah, it's very crazy that you can score that for $7. All you need is a installed Bass. Okay, holy crap, that was a lot of stuff. So we're definitely gonna get rid of some of this stuff. We know that much. Spin is not good to leave because then the Slash and Burns can be shuffled back. There's Simulchip. Ooh. I mean, we could start with Hannah somewhere. Like on the Spin Doctor. And Spin Doctors are running out. That's always good. We could clear these. We're trying to stop the Bass plays. So Simulchip. Yeah, there's also the idea of trying to clear HQ. Did we? We drew. We didn't play an event yet. Do this on server 1. That's just been sitting there forever. To trash something. Any res is kind of expensive for Ob here. There's Bass. Oof, nice. So now we don't even have to be afraid of that combo anymore. can cup that, and we can go and trash one of these. Yeah, now things are feeling very in control. There's no bass combo anymore. Can trash the excavator. Try to get a draw. Okay, and we have rigging up cataloger to sort of finish the game here. Any sort of desperado slash and burn play on a basalt will telegraph all the slash and burns in the hand, so that's kind of a big deal. Because we can just use cup to get them next turn. So here's the last spin doctor, but now if all the slash and burns are used, well, yeah, if there's spin doctor and you shuffle them back, then that's a different story. And we just need to remember to have enough money to survive any measured responses, which I think we should. We have enough. We almost have enough to survive 2 already. Oh, now it's the slash and burns. Yeah. Oh, losing. So we're losing the cataloger. That's a big deal. That's annoying. Threat is not active though. But yeah, so we can Hannah and force the spin pop. Slash and on one unseen card. If we're rigging up this and then we draw 2, then okay. Then we do get the lat draw. All the spins are gone. There is another cataloger in the deck. I kind of want to just dig for that. Propeller is quite nice. Pretty tempted to go propeller, get rid of the Azimuth, and then just cup HQ. But it's probably a little premature. Maybe I can save it for next turn. I guess there's no... I mean, R&D is so wide open. That I may not need rigging up for the charge here. Yeah, he can't or she can't afford to play 3 measured responses. So a cup play here might be fine. Repeller. Just cupping HQ. It doesn't seem like a terrible idea. But yeah, probably wait. Oh, Chris says, be careful about Svatagor into wage workers extract measures. Okay, that's fair. Although then they actually need to have all 3 copies in hand, which is kind of crazy. Propeller helps a lot here with breaking the Maskirovka. So maybe it's just propeller go here. Actually, now I'm not so sure about this. We're still spending money here. It just feels like all the assets are gone. Yeah. Let's undo. We can check R&D. Kesselroyd. Okay. And now there should be no interfering with the... Oh, there's the cataloger. Actually, yeah, if this is basalt, then there can be a slash and burn score of this, and then I kind of fucked up. That might be my bad. Yeah, I think that's what's happening. Oh, no, it's Azif, and then we lose the other cataloger. That's hilarious. Okay. But at least there's barely any board to speak of now. Okay. But yeah, I actually think now it's looking very good. Because we can kill these. We can overclock HQ. Actually, maybe we don't overclock HQ. Because then we can overclock here. Okay. Install. Now Echelon breaks Winchester for 3. Check HQ. And Afshar. Right. There's Afshar, so the coalescence stuff is relevant. We do want to see these cards. Basalt. Extract. Nano management. Right. So we want to clear the board. Playing this, and then we can draw a last click to get the lat draw. I'm thinking here we get this money. Oh yeah. Am I missing something here? Is it like extract nano? Wait, how could you possibly... No, extract gets you to 11. There's no measured response kill, so that's for sure. Is there a management score? But that doesn't really matter unless a basalt is being scored. So then there needs to be a basalt in hand. So what's the idea? Extract. Extract nano, but then you're only at 3 clicks. Yeah, no, there's no way. Yeah, is there any way to score nano management from here? You would need nano and a slash and burn, basically. Nano is 4. Slash and burn. Right, and then you need to advance 3 times. So 4, 7, and 1 for the slash and burn, 8 credits. So you can't score a basalt here. Makes me realize this wage workers is something that's might be important to get rid of. Although I don't want to waste time going after these little assets, but maybe I have to. Oh, showing HQ. That's seems unnecessary. Oh. Extract, nano, measured. Extract gets you to... Wait, but after nano... Oh, you're at 3 clicks? No, nano doesn't make any sense. You would just measured, right? No, you have to nano. Or you don't have enough clicks. Extract. Okay, so you gain 12, you go to 17. You play the nano, you're 13. Yeah. It's so you're 2 credits off. Yeah, if you like extract this turn, you leave the wage. Let's say I'm forced to go and get it. At least I'm going down on credits, and then maybe you can gather enough money with the extracts over time to oh. So now I have to pay. This is wrong. That's for sure. You don't want to be playing them preemptively. So now we just make sure that we have enough money or that we have enough cards. Actually, yeah, we're kind of running out of cards, so maybe that's why. But now if we get rid of the wage, I don't see the outs here. Well, spec work is nice. Although, yeah, like, is a little annoying. But okay. So do we leave the wage? Yeah, because if I trash this, I can get measured response, and then I lose like the rest of my cards. Losing the Azimat hurts. And paying $2 is also like not nice just to get a single off R&D. Agenda density should be very high. So we fermenter commission. If there's like triple draw, then maybe we just hit HQ a few times. Okay, yeah. Run HQ. Flip this Winchester. Yep. Break it. And I guess now we get rid of this wage because she's at $1. We click for money. Even if there was measured response, we'd survive it. We have fermenter ticking. Feeling pretty good about this. Are there more extracts? 1, 2. This is a crazy game. We run that stuff for free. Is it a Maverus? Okay. We get money. We can survive a measured. I guess there's a sieve too. I got to keep that in mind. So keeping the 2 cards is really important. And they are dead draws anyway, so that's fine. This takes up to 4. Do we just start checking R&D? So slash and burn, scoring in a sieve. And above the law, you can get rid of Hannah. Otherwise, there's no real outs, right? There's no way to gain clicks without anything on the board. And if you slash and burn anything, it will be stolen from archives. Yeah, so I'm actually fine just clicking here. I don't think there's an out for the corp. Oh, there is one out. If I run a Maverus and his rest, I take 1 damage, and then a Zeef can be a kill. Yeah. That's a little scary. It's another extract. Maskirovka. Okay. This might be the best time to hit HQ. Just force some reses. Wow, there's a lot of Winchesters in this deck. There's a slash and burn. What a crazy game. GG. So What a crazy game. So confirmed that this is a doable matchup. We don't need any other data. Oh, the overclock on the HQ run. Oh, I don't remember the context. Sorry, Chris. They should have not rest offshore, right? Wasn't I feel like the offshore rest was correct. It's just a tax. Asiba says with no basalt counters, the scoring lines get quite a bit more limited. Yeah, 100%. Like this deck relies so much on scoring a basalt to then be able to fast advance the rest of the points, and then you already have the 3-pointer scored. So that does everything for you. In these games where the basalt doesn't get scored, it becomes really awkward because like if you get to 4, then now you need to still score the basalt, but you'll never be able to use the effect, I guess. So you're playing a game where you never have the benefit of the basalt score, and you kind of had to use your tools to get other cards scored. Like it can be nice for the ob to get to 4 just to threaten the measures, but I find usually the games where the basalt is not scored is like really bad for the ob player. If the basalt gets scored, it's very scary as the runner. So there were situations there where with the right cards, basalt could have been scored, but at least they would need to go down to $1. So then that would leave me a window to just go and check a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it was a really fun run, Bloomer. She's saying, I did have you dead to extract into wage workers triple measured. Oh, okay. You needed another extract. Yeah. I was not even considering that lethal was possible when you were making that big calculation. 2 credits short. Yeah, I guess that was pretty close. But yeah, that was a crazy game. That was a lot of fun. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Like if you don't get stuff in the right order, you end up going to 4, I guess, just because like you don't want them sitting there. And I mean, the cup hits the board at some point, and then it feels very uncomfortable to be keeping those cards around. But it is an awkward setup. Right. You said, yeah, because the bass was there the whole time, so the setup was there, but you need a nun or a slab, yeah. Until the turn after you chase out the bass, at which point I drew both nano and slab. That's how it goes, isn't it? But yeah, thank you. That was a great game. Yeah, like I think as the lat player, you can often maybe not stop the score out, but at least what you can do is slow down the development of the board, so that when the score does happen, it leaves the ob in a bit of a vulnerable state. So maybe you can go and scoop the agendas out of HQ to make sure they're not fast advanced, and then hopefully find enough points on R&D or something like that. I think that's maybe what a more normal game looks like. I want to play another one before I end the stream, for sure. At least one more. So I'm going to do a quick break and be right back. back, everybody. Let's see here. Yeah, let's do one more lat game. Um, and Bloomer says, don't know if you're on the Netrunner data science, but Ob is a good matchup for lat generally right now. It's a Yuko you need to get the reps into, I think. You should win most of the Ob matchups. Okay, that's interesting. Because in my, in practice, I have won most of the games as the lat, I think. But a lot of the victories don't feel convincing, if you know what I mean. So um, when it feels like the game can be sort of out of your control, a lot of those times you might feel like it's unfavored for you. But it might be the game is out of your control, but you still like win most of them. And yeah, I could see that being the case. I just haven't looked at it that much. And the revolver that Chris recommended should improve it a little bit. A Yuko is interesting because that also seemed to me like the lat should do quite well into, and it has definitely felt like that when I've jammed on JNet. But it's like I don't know if against the very best players with the sharpest lists that it works. That would be interesting to see because I see a lot of perks like the Azimat, Anicam helps a bit. You have Propeller against like Samaxamoon and stuff like that. So it feels like, yeah, because of Azimat, they kind of need to ice all their important assets. And then there's also Pinhole for those iced assets if you really need to get them. So I feel like it has the tools. And Anicam helps a little bit against any type of kill. Yeah, so I'm not sure, but my vibes, just the vibes for me is that Epiphany feels really good. A Yuko doesn't feel as good as Epiphany, but still it feels like it should be at least okay. And then I wasn't sure about the Ob. But yeah, this is the stuff that's really fun about this is figuring out what are actually the good matchups and stuff. Like what are the good runner decks even. If the lat is doing well into or well to okay into all of those, then it should be a really good deck. If it's also doing okay against Glacier, then yeah, like I don't see why you wouldn't play this in a competitive setting. Yeah, unscientifically, Seabist, I agree. I totally agree with you. In my experience, it's done well, and like the greedy version of the list, I feel like it flows really well. Oh, I need to ask. Ooh, that looks like a good hand. Synapse. Oh, maybe I guess I should have put the competitive thing because Synapse is like these games tend to be a bit silly, but that's okay. Let's just see how it goes. That's actually really nice that JNet now has. This is a good hand. We're keeping it. Synapse. Yeah. Oh, interesting. That's actually, I guess, one of the better starts that Synapse can have because, like, I don't really want to dive on a daily quest right away. And not with this hand. Like, if I had other stuff, maybe. But in this case, might need to let him have it. Coalescence, spec work. Then we go back to 5 and we can play 2 cards. Yeah. Oof. Yeah. I mean, so the rigging up is nice for the coalescence. Do we play the Hannah here? I feel like Hannah could be nice. Okay, so we play her, we play the commission, we save the coalescence for the rigging up, and then we get the lat draw. Oh, okay. Now we have some really good targets for the rigging ups. Again, breaking up into Anicam. That gets us to 3, draw 2, we go to 5. Rigging up spec work gets us to 3 cards again. No, 2 cards. Then we don't get the lat draw. Oh, we would like to play this, but I think the draw is more important here. We would like to be able to contest this. So drawing into like SMC overclock would be great. Yeah, this is awkward, but I think the best is just to click. Although, like, I don't know if in this matchup we end up losing if a daily quest just takes the entire game. It might be that that's too much money, but it also might be that it just gives us enough time to set everything up. Okay, random card. We can Hannah check it, but then they know that we know that they know that we can check it with Hannah. But I think we check it anyway. And then it's a behold. But that's, I guess that's okay. Off-world. Well, okay, that's a very nice pickup. So, I mean, we can get oppo, but that's fine. Rigging up into coalescence. We're at 4 cards, 3 clicks. Spec work, we go to 5 cards, 2 clicks. Draw, install fermenter, and we're at 5 cards. Okay, that's fine. Wait, are we at 4 cards? Rigging up here. Yeah, we're at 4 cards. Yeah, true. Okay. Oh, pinhole. Now I clicked it down immediately, but that's because I'm expecting to spec work it right away. I feel like pinhole, there might be some other stuff in this deck that pinhole is useful for. Because these synapse decks, they often become some kind of glacier. All right, let me just... Actually, did I miscalculate this? Because now I'm just... Like, I have to click for a buck again. It's awkward. Okay, I guess that's what we're doing. We get the drop. And we say that if you're going to sit on a daily quest, then we're going to sit on fermenters. And then we'll let agendas build up in HQ. Okay, so there's... We didn't... I feel very good now about not holding the daily quest. This kind of signals... I guess the offer also kind of signals that agendas are kind of building up. Right, oppo. So removing the tag lets us see what the install is going to be. And it's not a great turn to play ritual. So let's start with this. Funhouse. That's an annoying card. So we know that card is Funhouse. I don't have my notepad right now. Yeah, we remove. I think we just get the revolver down, get the fermenter down. And next turn we can do the ritual. Oh, seamless. So that was what the off-world line was about. And remastered, I guess it kind of lets you seamless the off-worlds. That's still pretty expensive. Yeah, we definitely need to find our breakers here. Ooh, third fermenter is crazy. So fermenter, simul chip commission, maybe. I think so, yeah. Non-equivalent. I think I start with popping this just in case this is Mavericks or something. We can check this card. Bass, okay. If this is a score, I think that's okay. There's no SMC yet. We need to see more cards. So let's do that. And we can get the unity down. Just missing a fractor. And we can actually start contesting stuff. Okay, just scoring, embedded reporting. I think we can let these tick a little more. Azimuth, not great. Pressure spike. Okay. Now we're talking. We could discard this, but the other stuff we don't want to be discarding. Well, actually, maybe we want to discard the pressure spike and then get it back with Simul Chip. I could see that. And then yeah, so we just go DZMZ. So now there's the line of popping a fermenter and getting a pressure spike. Although it does force us to spend a click on this. It's a little unfortunate. Yeah, maybe I was a little... Oh, we do have Hannah, actually. That is really useful right now. Right, so we're taking the tag. This is because a 5-3 score is being threatened, and I can't let that happen. Oh, B1001. Get the spike. Okay, that is a nice combo. I have to give credit. And this, we are tagged. So we have to break it. Right, so if this is triggered, like now this can't be scored. That's an important point. We take another tag because of Hannah. And then, okay, so Synapse has already been triggered. We can play Copulation, get this one, and clear the tag. I think that makes the most sense. So then we can probably clear HQ so that after we go in and steal what I think is an agenda. Oh, actually, Will, there's only 2 cards in HQ. This is a little awkward. Um, well, if we check what happens first. In case this is a blade of B1001. We don't want a Hana run, I figure. Right. I'm thinking maybe I want to pinhole first to see if this is actually worth checking. Maybe I want a cup first. Yeah, I think I might want a cup first. Okay, let's do it. If there's no seamless, then a 5-3 score is not being threatened, really. So we can match the strength, and then we only need to break one sub. No, actually two. Okay. So if we check this and it's not an agenda, like this can't be scored. So maybe we don't even need to check this turn. I could also just catalog or run. All right. Wow. Okay. So the anthills can be on the bottom, then predictive, then oppo. That's the usefulness order of those. Play a coalescence. And we just pass. We'll get the lat draw. Oh, ritual is nice. So there's oppo, Mesnichestvo, then there's predictive, 2 anthills. Right. Tomorrow's headline. We know there's nothing. Well, there's Mesnichestvo that can be installed with Synapse. We want to start with ritual. There's no point in digging here right now. I think I still want to remove the tag. Yeah. Remove the tag. We pop the fermenter, I think, and then get an SMC on the board. That way we can actually overclock for the echelon. Then we have a full rig. Because the revolver is going to run out at some point. Though echelon might need to go up to 5 strength to be useful enough here. predicted to gain 3. So there's an anthill on top. This is an anthill. There's 2 oppos in hand. So we kind of just want to dig for the other cataloger, I think. We don't mind them drawing right now. Overclock for the echelon first, maybe? Just so we don't draw into it. We don't need the successful run. We can draw again. This is pitchable. We can draw again. Sure gamble, pitch the Anicam. Okay, so there's the anthill. Oh, actually, there can be fast advance, lol. Did we just get... Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, that's so annoying. Okay. Yeah, okay. We got a little bit wrecked this game. So let's think about what happened. So we knew there was a remastered edition counter. I mean, it is unlikely that the 3-2 is going to be top decked. With the cataloger, the idea is that, okay, we're going to control what we see on R&D. We knew one of the cards that was going to be drawn. So there's a low chance of this happening right now. Although we still put ourselves in an awkward spot by allowing them to get to 6, I suppose, when they're 4. And I could have probably afforded to check that card. So it might have been a mistake given I think I had enough resources to go and check. It's not super clear cut. Maybe I would need to go and look again. But yeah, that top deck was very unfortunate. Not seeing anything with cataloger. Yeah, I mean, I was talking shit about Synapse, so we ended up getting wrecked. The thing about these decks is they often do things like that you haven't thought about, that you're not really prepared for. So it makes you... It's very easy to make mistakes because yeah, you don't know what the slots are going to be, and you're not like considering all the lines as well as the matchups that you're prepared for. So it's easy to forget about the threats. You see a lot of ghosts too. When you think about a run, you're like, oh, if I do that, then I clear, that's what's going to happen. I guess in that case, we had seen all of HQ. We know that if we clear, all that can be installed is a Message Chestful. So we shouldn't be that worried. One thing I'm wondering though, looking at this agenda suite, is like, is there really no 5/3s in here? Like, is this borrowing a page from Epiphany's book? Because there's 2 embedded reporting. Presumably there's 3. There's a headline. That's 8 points. There's off-world. And maybe I'm assuming too much, but I'm sort of assuming that either, like, if you're playing 1 remastered and 1 off-world, at least, you probably are playing 3 of at least one of them. And if you are, so you're at 8, then you play 3, then you go to 14 points. But then you also have one of the other ones, like either an off-world or a remastered, that puts you at 16. So then you can't really put the 3-pointers in there. So it looks like an only 2-pointer list. Interesting. Well, a cool list for sure. Very nice. So yeah, interesting. I'm wondering, yeah, if I could or should have done something differently there. It's mainly I'm thinking about like actually checking this card to stop them from going to that amount of cards. I guess that was the main thing. Okay. That's gonna be like today's stream. I think next one might be a Sable stream. I just really wanted to share this version of Lat. I think like even though we lost this one, I think people can see that the list flows pretty well. Like you get a decent amount of burst economy, decent amount of draw. The fermenters provide some um, drip as well. So I really quite like this. And if we can get away with not having the stone chips, I really like that too. Um, they used to be really important because they would end up charging your cataloger so you can use it a few times. But instead, now we're playing two. So that seems like completely fine. Um, like this instead. And then you're also more likely to get a cataloger when you need it. So before, there were a lot of games where the cataloger would be kind of far down in your deck and they just didn't see it. That's a lot less likely to happen when you have two. Um, so yeah, I think it's a cool list. Give it a spin if you like it. Does anyone have any questions or something before I sign off for today? Any requests even maybe? Um, yeah, I just wanted to like cover the Sable as well because I mean it's something I jammed a decent amount, so I have a lot to say about it, just like the Lat. Um, and like seeing some games in action is fun, but what I like the most is just talking about the decks and being like, oh, this is why I think this is a good idea. This is why I don't think this is a good idea, and so on. And I think that's interesting to do for Sable as well. And then, of course, not too far from now, there's going to be what is it called? Vantage Point, something like that. The new set. Am I totally out there with that? Um, and then it's probably going to be fun to have some streams just chatting about the new cards that are coming out and speculating. So we'll see how much energy I have. But yeah, I'll just give it a few more seconds in case there are questions. Cebus says, "Gotta put some respect on the synapse." Yeah, uh, yeah. Like you gotta like the ability is actually quite annoying. Having to think about like if I make this run and I clear afterwards, they can put an agenda right back where I just went. That is actually pretty annoying. Um, so yeah, you even though I don't think it's like a good idea, when you play against it, you got to make sure that you're not underestimating what it can do. It does make things more tricky to think about for that reason. Like, oh, if I make this run and then I clear, does that mean I open up a scoring window? And I can see how the seamlessness make a lot of sense there because yeah, that it creates those scenarios where if a run like that is made and they can't really go back in, then there's the chance to seamless them. Then of course if they like an issue can be that like they might be able to kind of ignore the tags if you don't have enough tag punishment. So if let's say your fun house is the way that you get them tagged, then it might be that they just run through it and get the agenda anyway. So like, especially if they get to enough points, then you can't threaten those plays anymore. So I mean, there's all kinds of weaknesses there, but it's still annoying as the runner to think about. But okay, it looks like there's no questions. So I'm just gonna say thanks for watching. It was fun chatting about this, and see you soon, hopefully.